What's up, everyone? Welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Video Game Fight School channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. So, those of us that have been talking about exclusivity, depending on your stance or depending on where it is that you are, I'm sure by now you've been seeing the changes in the industry. And again, if you've been following, you shouldn't be surprised. And a lot of what I've been talking about here on the channel, it usually gets me dragged through, the console war and fanboyism and all that. But reality usually sets in because you must approach gaming from a mathematical perspective if you even deem to comment or at least input whatever you think about the entirety of the market. If you don't do the math and you're going with feelings or what you think to be or deem to be sensible about things, you'll end up with pie on your face. Sean Layden, this is the guy that used to run PlayStation's division a while back. It is now evident that he believes that this exclusivity thing, as we've been saying, is a wash. The market has become so much more saturated. Gaming is ubiquitous. It's easy for even indie developers to directly deliver games to people, and big publishers are getting more and more competitive, filtering out the bogus when it comes to AAA gaming. Hence, what he says here is when your costs for a game exceeds $200 million, exclusivity is your Achilles heel. It reduces your addressable market. Final Fantasy, take that. I was talking on Twitter here, and some people were saying, oh, but Final Fantasy doesn't even really sell much. Okay, they can keep their Final Fantasy, but we're going to get Dragon's Dogma. We're going to get Elden Ring DLC. People who like playing fantasy games, they're easily going to look into their on other platforms and say, well, what should I bother? I'm getting fantasy games on my Xbox or on my PC. This is very interesting to see that this is coming out. Another quote here that J Rock extracted from this article over here, by the way, there's an article from VentureBeat. If you want to see it yourself, feel free to do that. He says if you're spending $250 million, you want to be able to sell it to as many people as possible. Ain't that a fact? I mean, this is why Ghost of Tsushima, if it wasn't 250 million to make, but this is why games like Tsushima, this is why games like Spider-Man, like games like God of War, Ragnarok, and all the others are gonna come to PC. And if they're not coming to Xbox, it's money on the table that Sony is leaving. You may say, "Oh, but it helps Sony with their exclusivity and their brand." Bro, a brand is only as good as its value and the money it can pull in. A brand can be broke, and that's all it is, a broke brand. A brand that has money that's pulling in the dough is the brand. Gaming is no exemption because you feel a certain kind of way. And this is how I actually approach this matter. And I tell myself this because even as someone who likes gaming and I probably have a leaning towards PlayStation, believe it or not, even though I beat on PlayStation all the time, I have a leaning towards PlayStation. I went from PlayStation to a PC. It was after I'd become a PC gamer that I then got a Series X because it's a development kit just sitting there by itself. And I thought, yeah, it's a tinkering box more than anything else. And he says the PlayStation 1 and everything else stacked up there, wherever in time you look at it, the cumulative consoles out there never gets over 250 million. It just doesn't. So sorry, the global install base for console, if you go back to PS1 and everything else stacked up, whenever you whatever it never out there never gets over 250 million. It just doesn't. So what he's saying is there's just a pie of consumers that are sitting out there in terms of the console market, and you cannot get past that number because as many are dwindling away, the ones that are being added just keeps that cycle at that 250 million. The dollars have gone up over time, but I look at that and see that we're just taking more money from the same people. That happened during the pandemic, which made a lot of companies overinvest. Look at our numbers going up. We have to chase that rocket. We're not doing enough to get here, heretofore on non-console people into console gaming. We're not going to attract them by doing more of the same thing we're doing now. Xbox, Phil Spencer, team, double down. Take more games to PlayStation and win this war with ease. Let all these console warriors who have no idea how business should be done, let them watch and see if the last person to make it to multiplat, if they make it there intact. That's how this market's going to go. Don't care what it is anybody wants to say about their feelings or the brand. Whoever is going to get the bag first is going to be the person that's going to stay in business. Thanks for watching. Peace out.